The day I overheard my mom tell her friends I was just temporary family until my brother had kids, something inside me broke. I was 32, single, and apparently disposable. But instead of crying, I did something that changed everything. And no, I didn't go no contact. I did something better. My name is Emily, and I'm 32 years old. I work in marketing, I live in a decent apartment in Portland, and up until a year ago, I thought I had a pretty good relationship with my family. I mean, sure, my younger brother Jason was always the golden child, but I figured that's just how some families work. Right? I was wrong. This story starts on a regular Sunday evening at my parents' house. We had this tradition where I'd come over for dinner every week. My brother Jason and his wife Michelle lived 2 hours away, so they only came once a month. But me? I was there every single Sunday, like clockwork. That particular Sunday, Mom had invited some of her friends over for dessert after dinner. I'd helped clean up the dishes, and I excused myself to use the bathroom. Their house is old, and the bathroom is right off the kitchen. As I walked down the hallway, I heard my mom's voice clearly through the thin walls. She was laughing with her friends, and one of them asked, "So, Carol, how does it feel knowing you might be a grandmother soon? I heard Michelle and Jason are trying." I stopped walking. I don't know why, but something made me freeze right there in the hallway. My mom's response is burned into my brain forever. She said, "Oh, I'm so excited." Emily's great. Don't get me wrong, but she's more like temporary family, you know. When Jason and Michelle have kids, that's when our real grandparent journey begins. That's when it all really counts. The other women laughed. One of them said, "I totally get it. The married kids are the ones who give you the real family experience." I stood there in that hallway, and I felt like someone had reached into my chest and squeezed my heart until it stopped beating. Temporary family. Those two words kept echoing in my head. Temporary. Family. I somehow made it to the bathroom, locked the door, and stared at myself in the mirror. My hands were shaking. I wanted to scream. I wanted to burst into that kitchen and ask my mom how she could say something so cruel. But I didn't. I splashed cold water on my face, took a deep breath, and went back out there with a smile. I said goodbye to everyone 30 minutes later like nothing had happened. I hugged my mom. I told her dinner was delicious, and then I drove home and fell apart. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, and suddenly, all these memories started flooding back. Things I'd pushed aside or explained away for years. Like how my college graduation was a small family dinner, but Jason's graduation 2 years later was this huge celebration with extended family and a professional photographer. Or how, when I needed help with a down payment on my car, Dad said they couldn't help. But 6 months later, they gave Jason $15,000 for his wedding without blinking. Every Christmas, every birthday, every family gathering, I started seeing the pattern. I was always there, always available, always reliable, but I was never the priority. The next morning, I called my therapist and begged for an emergency session. I'd been seeing Dr. Martinez for about a year, mostly for work stress, but this was different. This was deeper. I told her everything. I cried through most of the session. And then she asked me a question that changed my entire perspective. She said, "Emily, what do you want from your life? Not what your parents want for you. Not what you think you should want. What do you actually want?" I opened my mouth to answer, and nothing came out. I realized I didn't know. I'd spent my entire adult life trying to be the good daughter, trying to earn their approval, trying to prove I was worth something even though I wasn't married with kids. I'd built my whole identity around being reliable, being there, being the one who showed up. But for what? To be called temporary family? Dr. Martinez helped me see something important. She said, "You have two choices here. You can cut them off completely and protect yourself from more hurt. Or you can set yourself free while still maintaining a relationship on your own terms. Neither choice is wrong. I thought about it for days. And I realized I didn't want to cut them off. That wasn't who I was. But I also couldn't keep living like this, waiting for crumbs of validation from people who saw me as less than. So I made a plan. Not a revenge plan, a liberation plan. First, I was going to build the life I actually wanted. Not the life my parents wanted for me. Mine. Second, I was going to stop seeking their validation. Their approval was no longer the goal. Third, I was going to set boundaries without explanation or apology. The following Sunday, I didn't go to family dinner. I didn't call. I didn't text. I just didn't go. Instead, I stayed home, ordered Thai food, and watched movies in my pajamas. It felt weird at first, almost wrong, but it also felt incredible. My mom called me 3 times that evening. I let it go to voicemail. Finally, around 9 p.m., I texted her, "Hey mom, sorry I missed dinner, had other plans. Talk soon." She called me immediately. "Emily? Are you okay? You never miss family dinner. Are you sick?" "I'm great, Mom. Just busy building my life." There was a long pause. Building your life? What does that mean? It means I have plans now. I'll come when I can, but Sundays aren't going to work every week anymore. But it's tradition." "I know, Mom. I'll see you soon. Love you." I hung up before she could argue. My hands were shaking, but I felt powerful. Over the next few months, I did something radical. I started living for myself. I took that trip to Italy I'd been postponing for 3 years because family might need me. I spent 2 weeks in Rome and Florence, eating pasta, drinking wine, and not checking my phone constantly. I started that side business I'd been dreaming about, custom gift boxes for corporate clients. I'd been sitting on the idea forever, but I'd always told myself I didn't have time. Turns out I had plenty of time when I wasn't spending every Sunday playing the good daughter. I joined a hiking club and met people who became real friends. People who invited me to things because they wanted me there, not because I was obligated to show up. I even started dating without the pressure of finding the one. I went out, had fun, and stopped treating every date like a potential husband interview to prove to my parents that I was worthy. And through all of this, my mom kept calling. At first, she was confused. Then she got worried. Then she got angry. "Emily, I don't understand what's gotten into you. You're not yourself." "Actually, Mom, I'm finally being myself." About 4 months into my new life, my brother Jason called me. "Em, what's going on? Mom's really upset. She thinks you're mad at her." I took a deep breath. "Jason, I overheard something at dinner a few months ago. Mom told her friends that I was temporary family until you and Michelle have kids, that you guys are the real family." Silence on the other end. "Did you hear me?" She probably didn't mean it like that." "How else could she mean it?" More silence. "I don't know. But you're being kind of dramatic, don't you think? Just cutting everyone off?" "I haven't cut anyone off. I'm just not making everyone else the center of my universe anymore. I'm building a life I'm proud of. But you're hurting Mom." "Jason, did it ever occur to you that maybe I've been hurt too, for years?" He didn't have an answer for that. A week later, my mom demanded we meet for coffee. Not at her house, neutral territory. I knew this was going to be the conversation. We sat across from each other at a Starbucks, and she looked exhausted. "Emily, please tell me what I did wrong. I've been going crazy trying to figure this out." "You called me temporary family, Mom." Her face went pale. "What? When?" 4 months ago. You were talking to your friends in the kitchen. You said I was temporary family until Jason and Michelle have kids. That's when the real grandparent journey begins." She started to deny it, then stopped. I could see the memory clicking into place. Emily, I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it then? I just meant, grandchildren are special. It's different. So I'm not special? Of course you are. Mom, look at me. I waited until she met my eyes. I've spent my entire life waiting for your approval, trying to be good enough, trying to matter. And I heard you tell your friends that I don't really count until Jason produces grandchildren for you. Do you understand how that felt? Tears started rolling down her cheeks. I love you, Emily. I know you do. But love isn't enough when it comes with conditions. I'm done waiting to be enough. I'm done being the reliable backup plan. I'm building a life I'm proud of, and I need you to respect me as I am right now, not as who you wish I was. I do respect you. Do you, though? Have you ever asked me about my business? About my trip to Italy? About what I actually want from my life, instead of constantly asking when I'm going to find someone and settle down? She looked down at her coffee cup. She didn't have an answer. I love you, Mom, but I need you to see me, really see me, not just as the daughter who isn't married yet. She was crying harder now. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I know you didn't. But now you do. She left that coffee shop upset. And I won't lie. I felt guilty. But I also felt lighter than I had in years. I thought that would be the end of it. We'd have some awkward distance, and eventually things would settle into a new normal. But life had other plans. 6 months after I'd overheard that conversation, my brother's wife, Michelle, had a miscarriage. She was 3 months pregnant, and they'd already told the whole family. Everyone was devastated. My mom called me, sobbing. Emily, can you please come? Michelle really needs support right now, and I need you too. I'll be honest, part of me wanted to say no. Part of me wanted to point out the irony. They needed me now? When it was convenient. But that's not who I wanted to be. So I showed up, I brought food, I sat with Michelle while she cried. I helped coordinate family members who wanted to visit. I was there, not because I owed them anything, but because I chose to be. And something shifted. One evening, I was cleaning up the kitchen at my parents' house, and my mom came in. Her eyes were red from crying. Emily, thank you for being here. You didn't have to come after everything. I came because I wanted to, Mom. Because despite everything, I love you guys. She broke down then, really broke down. I'm so sorry for what I said. You've been here for us through all of this, and I took you for granted. I took you for granted your whole life, didn't I? I didn't answer right away. Yeah, Mom, you kind of did. I don't know why I said that about temporary family. I think I've had this picture in my head my whole life about what being a grandmother would look like. And it was always tied to this traditional idea of marriage and kids. But that's not fair to you. No, it's not. Can I be honest with you about something? She wiped her eyes. I think I've been scared. Scared that you'd end up alone. Scared that you wouldn't have the life I had. And instead of supporting you, I made you feel like you weren't enough. I'm so sorry. This was the most honest my mom had ever been with me. Mom, I might have kids someday. I might not. I might get married, I might not. But either way, I matter now. Right now. As I am. You're right. You're absolutely right. She grabbed my hand. I'm going to do better. I promise. I'm not asking you to be perfect, Mom. I'm just asking you to see me. I see you, honey. I really do. And I'm sorry it took me so long. That conversation didn't fix everything overnight. But it was a start. Over the next few months, things slowly changed. My mom started asking about my business. She congratulated me when I landed a big client. She stopped asking when I was going to find someone and started asking how I was doing. My brother called me and apologized too. He said he'd never realized how differently they treated us, and he was sorry for not standing up for me. The relationship with my family improved, but it was different now. I wasn't the always available daughter anymore. I had boundaries, I had my own life, and I no longer needed their approval to feel worthy. My business kept growing. I traveled to Greece and then to Iceland. I made incredible friends who valued me for who I was. And yes, I even started dating someone. A guy named Marcus who thinks I'm amazing exactly as I am, career-focused and all. About a year after that initial overheard conversation, my family dynamics had completely shifted. I saw my parents maybe twice a month instead of every week. When I did visit, I enjoyed it because I wanted to be there, not because I felt obligated. And here's the thing. Nobody tells you about setting boundaries. Sometimes people actually respect you more for it. My mom tried harder. She listened more. She stopped making assumptions about what my life should look like. We weren't perfect, but there was real respect between us now. Last month, something happened that really showed me how far we'd come. My mom called me and said, "Emily, Michelle is pregnant again. She's almost through the first trimester, and we're cautiously optimistic. She wants to have a baby shower, and she asked if you'd help plan it." A year ago, that request would have felt like proof that I was only valuable when I was useful. But now it felt different. "I'd love to help plan it, Mom." "Really? You're not too busy." "I'll make time because I want to, not because I have to." "Thank you, sweetheart. That means everything." After we hung up, I sat there thinking about how much had changed. The victory wasn't that I'd changed them, although they had changed some. The real victory was that I'd freed myself. I'd stopped waiting for their validation and started building a life I genuinely loved. I'm not temporary family anymore. Not to them. And more importantly, not to myself. I'm complete exactly as I am. My worth isn't tied to whether I'm married or whether I have kids. My worth is inherent. And you know what the wildest part is? Once I stopped desperately seeking their approval, they started giving it more freely. Once I stopped shrinking myself to fit their expectations, they started seeing me for who I really am. Here's what I learned through all of this. You can't control how people see you. But you can control how you see yourself. I didn't need to cut my family off or get revenge. I just needed to stop making them the center of my universe and start building the life I actually wanted. Setting boundaries isn't mean. It's not selfish. It's self-respect. And when you respect yourself, you teach other people how to respect you too. If this story resonated with you, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And listen, if you're the temporary family member in your household, I want you to know something important. You're not temporary. You're not a backup plan. You're not less than, because your life looks different from what your family expected. You're complete exactly as you are, right now, in this moment. Subscribe if you want more stories about setting boundaries and building the life you deserve. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever felt like the second choice in your own family? Let's talk about it. You're not alone. There are thousands of us out there who've felt exactly what you're feeling. And one more thing before I go. That baby shower I mentioned, I'm helping plan it next month. Michelle asked for a garden party theme with Italian food because she knows I fell in love with Italy. She said she wanted to honor the things I love. That's when you know real change has happened. Not when people stop hurting you, but when they start celebrating you. I'm not temporary family. I never was, and neither are you. Thanks for listening to my story. I'll see you in the next one.